just stay faithful in the journey. I know it may seem really hard. No, I don't know what it's like to experience a loss with a child, but I do know what it's like to struggle, and I do know what those feelings. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, kind of doing a story time, kind of not a story time. It's more so telling you guys, I know you guys, I don't know if I have said it on here, but I have talked about on my platforms how I struggled to get my son. That's why I always say he's my miracle baby, even though he is my heart warrior. He's just a miracle baby, like in its whole little thing. But so this video will be focusing on how I struggled to get pregnant and what was the turning point for me, kind of talking about the LEEP procedure. So if you are curious to know what happened, what the LEEP procedure is, then let's go. So I don't know if I have talked about this on YouTube. I probably did, but you know, you do so many videos, you don't really remember. I struggled to get pregnant with my son. I think I did. But anyway, I struggled to get pregnant with my son. It took a long time. Like, I knew something wasn't right after a couple of months, because I know they say if you haven't got pregnant over a year, something may be wrong. Not necessarily with you, it could be your partner. So I really wasn't sure, and at that time I wasn't thinking about no IVF. I wasn't thinking about anything. Like, I just figured, dang, maybe it's not in the cards for me to be a mother yet. I mean, because I was still young. I had my son at 20, but I was with my life partner, so I knew this is the person that I wanted to have children with. And I just figured maybe it wasn't our timing, because sometimes we rush God's timing, and that's kind of where I was thinking everything was going. But sometimes there's just blessings in disguise, because I went for my yearly appointment. And this is why I highly recommend women, young women, go get your pap smear. When I got my pap smear, normal, getting it done, you know what I mean? So about a week later, I get a phone call from my doctor, and she said, hey Steph, we need to go over your pap smear results. This was the very first time this ever happened to me, because normally my doctor, she doesn't call you if your pap smear is okay. Most of the time she will mail you your test results, or she would have like her assistant call you. But I was like, oh shit, what's going on? I got something, what's happening here? Doctor's calling. It wasn't the typical thing that she would do. So I was like taken back by it. She said, hey, we need to talk about your pap smear. Your pap smear came back abnormal. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? So you just gotta run your little car and make all that noise? Sorry, y'all. So she begins to explain it, saying that nothing could be wrong. She says that you just, you need to go to the specialist, because she said this word, this phrase that I don't remember. This was like back in 2010. Yeah, this was back in 2010. So I don't even remember the word that this woman said. So I go see the specialist, and he takes a piece of my cervix, and this isn't the LEEP procedure, guys. It's a piece of my cervix to send in for a biopsy. Let me tell you, it hurt like hell. It felt like somebody just plucked my vagina. That's what it felt like. It just wasn't pretty. To me, it wasn't pretty. So then that came back that I'm really trying to remember, guys, because it's been so long. But I really wanted to talk about this, because I know there are so many young girls out there that probably don't get a pap smear and probably don't even know what this is. Or maybe you're about to get the LEEP procedure and you want to feel some sense of security with it. So basically, it came back that they needed to do more. And this is where I need to pull this up, because your girl don't remember. So LEEP procedure stands for Loop Electrical Excision Procedure. And it says it is one of the most commonly used approaches. That's what it is, to treat high-grade cervical dysplasia discovered in an examination. That's what it was. It said like I had, my results came back that I had that. That's what it was, because I remember it was a C and a D word. I just couldn't remember exactly what the heck it was. So I was like really nervous. Nervous is all outdoors, because this means surgery time. Like, I gotta be put to sleep so you can do what you gotta do. So I wanted to read what this says. So it says, what is LEEP and why is it done? It says, if you have abnormal cervical cancer screening results, your healthcare professional may suggest that you have a LEEP procedure as part of the evaluation or for treatment. It says LEEP is one way to remove the cells from the cervix by using a thin wire loop that acts like a surgical knife. And it says an electric current is passed through the loop, which is cuts away a thin layer of the cervix. So that's what my doctor the specialist would say. He said, so basically, in short, they're basically going to take a piece of your cervix and they're going to test it. And they're going to determine if you actually have cervical cancer, or to see if it's really like a high grade of that cervical dysplasia. So I just want to read a little bit more because maybe it help you guys. So it says, how is LEEP performed? It say a LEEP should be done when you are not having your who the hell wants to touch your vagina and you on your period? Like, no sis. But basically, you can get the local anesthesia to prevent the pain. I ain't even gonna read that. So it says, what should you expect during recovery? So it says, after the procedure, you may have watery pinkish discharge, mild cramping, a brownish black discharge. It said it will take a few weeks for your cervix to heal. While your cervix heals, you should not place anything in your vagina, such as tampons or douches. You shouldn't even put douches in your damn vagina anyway. But anyways, it says you should not have intercourse. So I just wanted to read that so that you guys can get a better understanding of it, because it has been a long time since your girl had that. So I got it done. Like I said, I don't really remember a whole lot because it has been really long, but there has been myths that the LEEP procedure actually increases the chances of fertility issues. For me, that was not the case. Like I told you guys before, I literally struggled to get pregnant for a year and a half. Ended up finding out that I had this cervical dysplasia thing. I needed to go get a biopsy. Got biopsy done. Biopsy needed to get the LEEP procedure done to actually take a piece of my cervix just to see if it is cancerous or not. Thank God it came back that it was not, because your girl was like, ain't nobody got time for that. But I still have to go more often than most women because there still could be a chance. But you know, I ain't worrying about that, because at the end of the day, God got my back. He has not brought me this far to leave me, and that's just how I live my life. And honestly, I'm more so just like to spread awareness, and that's why I really want to do this video. And so I got the LEEP procedure in January. So like I told you guys, I was struggled to get pregnant. So February came and I didn't have my period. Oh, and that's another thing. I had really bad irregular menstruals. So it was very common for me to miss a month. And it was sometimes common for me to miss 2 months. So I remember when February came, I said, oh, my period is just doing what it's doing. Plus I had the LEEP procedure, you know, that's why my period is not happening. And if you guys don't remember, I was really heavy back then. Before I had my son, I wasn't as big, but I still was like, I had gained that freshman 15 after high school, probably was a little bit more. I was fat. Call it what it was. I was overweight. I was not Steph. And I say that because I know me. I know when I gain weight because I didn't look like myself. March comes. I'm like, okay, where you at, girl? You ain't here. So I'm like, oh, she's skipping. She doing her normal BS. Like, it was that bad. So I remember when I got towards the end of March and I was like, okay, normally if it did skip, it would come like at the end of that month, or I would get signs that it was about to come. I don't know why, but my body would just do that. It was really weird. I hated it so bad. So I remember I was sitting at the desk at my job and I had like hit my boob, and my boob hurt so bad. And I was like, well, Steph, don't your boobs normally hurt when you're on your period? So I was like, yeah, you right. You know how you talk yourself and not believe in, you know, the signs. So I'm like, okay. But I wasn't sick. I did not have no morning sickness. So I remember I said, you know what? I'm gonna go and get a $1 pregnancy test. So I remember running home, got pregnancy test. I didn't even tell Sid I was getting a pregnancy test. I just got it. I remember running in the bathroom doing it. And this was, you know, this was old fashioned, little cheap little thing, because you had to like use a little thing to take the pee to put it into the spot for the pregnancy test to tell you if you're pregnant or not. So I'm waiting. I see the thing go and I'm looking at it like, pregnant? Bitch, how? Ain't nobody no fucking pregnant. I don't ain't nobody pregnant. I run out the bathroom, tell Sid. I was like, boo, this test say I'm pregnant. He like, hold on, you was taking a pregnancy test? I was like, yeah, because my period ain't come for 2 months. I said, I know I'm irregular, but dang, you know, like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, and my boobs hurt, so I don't know, you know. So we was cracking up. He was like, well, I said, no, I don't believe it. I was like, I don't believe it. Mind you, I struggled so long, so I did not believe this thing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go and get regular pregnancy tests. So I'm like, okay. Can y'all imagine the anxiety that was going on? So I was like, okay, let's get it. We're gonna get the one that actually say you pregnant, or the one with the 2. I had got so many pregnancy tests. I know this person that rung me up probably was like, man, what are you doing? But I was like, mind your business. I done struggled to get pregnant over here. So I go home and I do it again, and it say pregnant. So I was like, oh snap, we is finally pregnant. Do y'all know I still didn't believe it? I didn't believe it. I think I took like 10 tests and I still did not believe it. Called my grandmother and everything. Said, Granny, these tests say I'm pregnant, but I don't believe it because I struggled to get pregnant for so long. It's going on, it was 1.5 years, probably 2 years. I said, I don't believe it. Nope, scheduled my doctor's appointment. I said, nope, I don't believe it. You need to draw my blood because I do not believe that I'm pregnant. So, you know how they go and check you when you go, where they was like, you gotta wait till you're like 8. What'd she say? When was your last period? So, of course, they're like, oh, well, you know, yeah, you're pregnant. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm irregular. I always have irregular periods. My period does not come when it's supposed to. So I know my body. Like, I know my body. How you gonna tell me about my body and I know my body more than you? This is my body. Like, what you talking about? Girlfriend, doctor was like, Stephanie, you are pregnant. You are blah, blah, blah weeks. I don't even remember how many. I think it was like 5 weeks. I had found out super early. And she was like, I said, well, how is that possible? Because I struggled to get pregnant for 1.5 years. And I just got the LEEP procedure like a month ago. She like, sometimes the LEEP procedure actually can make you fertile. I said, well, that's not what the reports say. She was like, anytime you messing with your cervix, she was like, she didn't say yo. She was like, anytime you're messing with your cervix and you're taking something, that can actually make you fertile. And my mother-in-law said the same thing. My mother-in-law was like, yeah, it probably was because you got the LEEP procedure. She said, it was probably because you needed to see what was wrong with your cervix and get that happen. She was like, sometimes it happens like that. She was like, I'm not saying that the LEEP procedure made you fertile. She was like, but sometimes it can increase your chances. And I was reading the thing where it says both, like it can give you complications or it can give you, it can make you fertile. And like my doctor did tell me though, like, we will have to monitor you because you did get something done to your cervix and your cervix can open. Thank God my cervix did not open. Like, do y'all understand how blessed I was to get my baby? Like, I prayed for this baby. I prayed. Like, I remember going through the frustration. I used to cry so bad to sit. I used to be like, why can't I get pregnant? What is wrong with me? I'm not a woman. You know, I should be able to get pregnant. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. You know, like, we've been doing everything right. But God's timing. Sometimes it is not you. It is not you. And sometimes there are women that don't get to carry their babies. And that's why I actually am like, I'm so one of those people, like, don't you dare tell a person when they should have a baby. Why haven't they had a baby yet? Because, and it instantly made me think about Desi Perkins when she shared her story about how she struggled to get pregnant and how she had a miscarriage. People don't realize what us women have to go through in order to bring life into this world. Like, with my son, I think that's why I ate what I wanted. That's why I gained how many pounds that I wanted, because I was like, I'm just so happy and blessed to be able to carry my child. You know, many don't get this experience, and I'm gonna live this experience for them, you know, and that was my mindset. Yeah, I gained so much weight, but look at me now. I lost that weight 2 times, baby, 2 times. And look at the beauty in that. I got pregnant my first try with my daughter. So it was, I say all of this to say, make sure you are going to your doctor's appointments. Make sure you are getting your yearly checkups. It is so imperative, because what if I wasn't proactive? I would have probably never known that I needed to actually go and get this done, because they had to take those cells off of my cervix in order for me to live healthy, in order for me to live a healthier life. Like, I'm just happy to be here, honestly. God has really blessed me 2 times. I'm able to carry 2 babies. You know, and if I decide to have a 3rd, I pray that I don't let anxiety take over, because I didn't let anxiety take over with my daughter. I had this mindset, like, if it happens, it's gonna happen. You already carried a baby, so you know you can carry a child. That's not the issue anymore, you know. It's just you getting pregnant and you being able to track when you're ovulating and making sure you're actually ovulating, because that was another thing that I had read before I got the LEEP procedure. I was wondering, like, I never went to my doctor with anything, because at the end of the day, I told you guys I was still young. So I just figured that it wasn't my time. But I had looked up, like, maybe I'm not ovulating and stuff like that. So I was gonna do, like, my mother-in-law was like, well, do the ovulation predictor. I didn't even get to do that, because I went to my doctor, got the pap smear, and ended up finding out that I need the LEEP procedure. So I say all this to say, if you are currently struggling to get pregnant, I'm not saying that the LEEP procedure will help you. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just sharing my journey on that. But just stay faithful in the journey. I know it may seem really hard. No, I don't know what it's like to experience a loss with a child, but I do know what it's like to struggle, and I do know what those feelings feel like. I do know that it turned me into a mad woman, to the point I gave up not even wanting kids, because that's how bad it was, because I questioned me as a woman. And I know many of you out there yourself are probably questioning yourself, like, what is wrong with my body? And I'm saying all this to say, just make sure that you're doing everything that you can physically do. Make sure you're going to your doctor's appointments, make sure you're staying up on your health, and just trying to figure out what could be wrong, you know. And I just pray that you do get your little bundle of joy, because being a mother has truly changed my life. Even being a mom, even though my baby had heart problems when he was born, it still doesn't take away the fact that I got to carry him. Like, you know, that's the beauty in it. You know, I got to be able to experience what it is to be a mom, you know? And granted, if you didn't carry your child, that doesn't mean that you are less of a mother. That does not mean, that is not what I'm saying. But just know that you aren't alone. There are people out there probably struggling just like you. I done went through it, and that's why I'm an advocate for when people try to make insensitive comments about pregnancy, because people honestly don't know what it's like unless they have walked in your shoes, or they have been down that journey of feeling like you can't have kids. And at the end of the day, God has the final say. He has the final say. And I stayed so faithful in my journey. That's why I have my babies. I didn't allow what I was feeling to override my faith in him and getting me through. So guys, I just wanted to share that with you all, and I just want you all to go to the doctor, do your part, and try not to stress yourself out with it, because I understand that's easier said than done. But I really do hope my story can inspire someone out there, and maybe you're going through the same thing and you will get your baby. Just say a prayer, and I will say a prayer for you all out there that need it. You know, we all need a prayer. There's nothing wrong with that. So guys, until the next video, I'll see you